Hi humans and welcome back to the Unleash and Unveil community. Today we're going to talk about attracting abundance, alchemizing our money stories, and I'm going to teach you this with 3 very simple, practical grounding steps. And I'm also going to teach you 3 quantum steps that are really going to help you manifest and visualize and alchemize anything that's been standing in the way of your financial success. Let's dive right in. We got a lot to cover. Number 1, this is about shifting our perspective is one of the most powerful practices there is, because as you change your behavior, you change the human. I learned this as a yoga practitioner, really uncovering how there can be so many people looking at the same thing, and yet there's so many different perspectives. And that just depends on our level of awareness. And so here's the practice. I want you to move from I have to do this to I get to do this. This is one of the practices that I love teaching all of our students, because notice the vibration of I have to. I have to go to school. I have to go to work. I have to be in this career. I have to. It has this energy of almost us feeling like a prisoner to our own life, rather than saying, I get to do this part. I get to be a mom. I get to be a CEO. I get to wake up every day and work on my business. It has more of that expansion. It has more of the, oh yeah, I am a willing participant, which is another thing that I really want to touch on before we move on to number 2 is, are you a willing participant of your own life? How can we move out of the victim story of this is happening to me and I always get the shit end of the stick to the victor story? The victor story takes all of the things that have happened to us in our life and makes gold out of it. It alchemizes the story. It no longer has the shame, the guilt. Yes, we don't have to bypass whatever happened. We can look at it, but we have the ability to transform that. You see, from all of the years that I've been mentoring, nobody likes the person that knows it all and shows up in their perfection. We are all obsessed with the hero's journey, and that comes from alchemizing wherever we've been. It's shifting our perspective. The last thing I want you to bring in this practice is training the mind to see the silver lining in everything. And of course, this is extremely difficult when you're in situations where you're like, that's easy for you, but this situation sucks. Well, that's the practice. You see, the practice is easy when the conditions are easy. The practice is the practice when the conditions are difficult. That's where you really start to know what you're made out of. When you start to shift into everything's happening for divine timing, everything's happening on the highest accord, everything is happening for me, not to me. Everything is happening the way it's supposed to. Number 2, start to cultivate a relationship with money. Start to cultivate a relationship with abundance. And yes, everything is a relationship. You are in relationship to social media. You are in relationship to your business. You are in relationship to the bank that you keep checking. You are in relationship with human beings, with your community, with your family. You are in relationship to all things. So ask yourself really quickly, what kind of relationship do I have with money? What kind of relationship do I have with abundance? Am I talking down to it and expecting it to do X, Y, and Z and jump through hoops? How do I speak to money? How do I treat money? This is a beautiful practice that will instantly start to shift the vibration of money, because money is just currency. Everything is energy. Everything is flowing. And so to be in relationship with money, you have to start to ask yourself deeper questions. Okay, so here's a practice. I want you in your mind's eye to think about somebody that you have a really good relationship with. Maybe it's a pet, maybe it's a best friend, maybe it's a childhood friend, maybe it's a parent. And I want you to think about the ways that you speak to them. I want you to think about the ways that you acknowledge them, the way you give them your time, your love, your energy. And I want you to start to ask yourself, do you have that same relationship with abundance? Do you have that same relationship with money? If you don't, here's how we can start to cultivate that relationship. I love to speak to the energy of abundance out loud. I love to remind abundance that I am always open arms receiving. I always love to remind money that there is a place here for it to double, quadruple, that I am the person that knows how to hold the wealth. I always tell universe, source, and abundance to bring more, because I know through the hands of my company, money just gets to be filtered into our communities, and we get to do do amazing things with it. And so here is just a practice that you can start to do. You can start to write it out. You can start to vocalize it, or you can actually write money a letter. And you can start to bring in a practice of gratitude on all of the times that money and abundance was there for you and made your life easier. Or you can write a letter to abundance and money and the energy of prosperity and share all of the times that you were disappointed by it. No matter what, it is a relationship. We're not trying to fake the funk here, humans. Every relationship requires honesty, requires clarity, and it requires us to come into the relationship with an open heart. The thing that I love to do and has literally changed the game for me when it comes to my relationship with money was my relationship to opening up my bank account. I used to be the type of person that would open up that account and I'm like, oh my God, what went negative? What bounced? I noticed that even before I opened the app to check my balance, my nerves were in a knot. I was sweating and I just didn't like the way I felt. And when I saw what was going on my bank account, it reflected that exact energy. So now I'm going to invite you into this practice that I do that I love, where I close my eyes and as the app starts to open, I'm literally waving my magic fingers and telling the universe to surprise me. And guess what? When I open it up, it always does. Even in the weeks and in the months that I spend the most money, I'm like, whoa, this is great. I was actually able to invest in quite a bit of stuff this week and this month, and there is still a healthy amount in my bank account, and there's actually more. So it starts with our vibration. Okay, let's move into the third thing, which is affirmations. This is what you're speaking out into the universe. It is so important that you start to bring in a practice, whether you write it on sticky notes and put it all over your mirror, whether you script it out, meaning you write, I'm abundant and I deserve to have a good life. And you keep writing, I am abundant, I deserve to have a good life. I am the energy of prosperity. I am not in lack. I am here only to receive. I am here to live a good life. All of these things, as you start to speak it out, you will start to rewire your system. And listen, humans, don't expect yourself to believe everything that you say in the beginning. It's called practice for a damn reason, okay? I practiced yoga for at least a year, not knowing what the hell was happening, but I didn't care because I knew that every time I left that studio, every time I left that practice, I felt better. Well, that's what's going to happen with this practice. You may be saying things that your body fully has not yet calibrated to, but it's all good. You keep practicing and reminding yourself that money and abundance and prosperity is your birthright. Let's move right along. Here's a quantum practice that I am absolutely obsessed with, and it's called setting the intention. I love to set the intention in everything that I do. Here's why. Because the intention is the seed to the manifestation. So just like the seed to a plant goes into the ground, into the dirt, it has to nourish itself to grow. Well, how do you think a manifestation materializes? It first has to have a thought, and it has to have a thought with a lot of momentum. And so this is something that I've trained my brain into setting. I no longer set goals. I set my intention. I set my energy. So maybe I set my energy to bring in 3 or 4 clients this week. Maybe I set my energy to take rich rest. Maybe I set energy and set my intention for universe to surprise me and for me to bring in unexpected money. All of those things start with the seed and the intention and the energy behind that. So I challenge you, and this is something we do inside of all of our groups, especially our mastermind group. Instead of asking them, what do you want to do this week? I always say to them, what is your intention? What do you get to do? What do we get to call in? Notice the language. It's not, what do I have to do? What do you get? No, it is, what do we get to do? What is the invitation to ourselves? Because we are a willing participant in this life. Life is not happening to us. We're not here in the crapshoot of life. We are creating. We are the creators, the directors. We are the muses. We are the artists. We're the painter. We are the sculptor. And the sooner we understand that we are all of those things, the faster your manifestation actually comes. The less you are in this story of, well, I've never had money, so how can I have money? Well, today is going to be the day. Today is the day that you shift your perspective. Today is that you speak into the universe your affirmations and you start to rewire your system. Today is the day. Today is the day, because there is no other time. The time is now. So set your intention to the desire. Don't set your intention to the failure. Don't set your intention to the problem. Set your intention to your desire and what you want to see in your life. Moving right along. This next practice has ultimately changed my life, and this is the practice of gratitude. You see, the heart portal is tethered and connected to the heart of the universe. And so as we continue to travel down this path of getting to know ourselves more, of desiring to be the creators of our life, whether that's bringing in wealth, whether that is opening up a center, whether that's traveling the world, whatever it is that you desire, by the way, there is no shame and there is no limit. We have to do it with our entire heart. And the practice of gratitude is a practice of giving thanks. It's a practice of noticing where we are. I was sharing this with a student the other day and I said, notice how quickly the thing that you felt was a blessing all of a sudden becomes ordinary. Don't allow life to become ordinary because it becomes stale. Allow life to be exciting, to be fun. Allow life to be a practice of santosha, a practice of contentment, a practice of satisfaction, a practice of look at fucking life, yo. Like, it is amazing, like, what is happening here on Earth School. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, man, this is amazing. I have not seen a paycheck in 4 years. I have not walked into a desk job. Like, life just keeps surprising me. And I believe that it keeps surprising me because I expect good things to happen. And I give thanks for every little thing. It doesn't matter if I didn't hit a goal. It doesn't matter if I desired to be somewhere else. The practice of this part right here is so good. Opens up our heart. It opens up our heart to literally receive more. I believe a grateful heart literally is the ultimate receiver. I don't believe that God's source universe is sending down blessings to ungrateful people. I really don't believe that this is true. I believe that when we're operating from that love heart centered energy and we're moving through life as a moving meditation where everything is surprising you. Every move that I make, I'm like, yeah, sure, that seems good. Let's do it. Yeah, my heart is pulling me over there. Let's do it. You need both in your life and you need both in your business. The last practice is visualization and being able to activate our third eye and being able to see ourselves win. Being able to activate the version of yourself that has the things that you desire. This is such an important practice. I think honestly, it is the most underutilized practice because people don't know really how to do it. I have been practicing and doing this since I was an athlete, since I was, a kid. I used to have 2 specific coaches that used to do this, and they would have us close our eyes and run through different dance routines and competitive routines and seeing ourselves doing it flawless, seeing ourselves doing it and getting to the stage with the trophy. I want you to do this and practice this within your own life. How can you activate and visualize yourself winning? Visualize yourself holding that wealth. Visualizing yourself being that person that steps into that leadership. You see, it's not about working yourself to that. It's about understanding that that version of yourself, that quantum version of yourself that you are activating has already happened. You see, I think of life more as a remembrance practice. It's not like I'm doing anything. I'm actually remembering that I've already done this. The practice becomes going into my memory bank and activating that quantum version of me that is wealthy, the quantum version of me that is healthy, the quantum version of me that has every single thing that I've ever desired because I never needed to work hard to get it. I just needed to remember that it was always available. Humans, this has been amazing. Go with peace, go with God. I will see you in the next episode. If you like this, hit subscribe.